The top selling vehicles in general for America are typically trucks, SUVs, crossovers. So when it comes to, needing to buy a new one, you got to make a decision. But what if you really didn't have to and you could technically kind of have the best of all of those worlds? Well, let me introduce you to the Telo MT1, the Swiss Army knife of vehicles, in my opinion.
And it's also because it's small. That strength can be less mass than you would have in a giant truck. So
First off, though, who's Tello? Well, they started in 2022, and their ultimate goal has been to make a truck with the capabilities of trucks that we're familiar with, like Toyota Tacomas and Ford Mavericks, stuff like that, but in a compact size like a Mini Cooper. Which, what? How? Well, that's where we're going to get into. This is a team of a little under 30 people who know a thing or two about how EVs work. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to see what they produce, hopefully here late in 2026. So, first things first, what makes this the ultimate utility vehicle? Well, it being an EV, it's quick. That's just a default. You're going to have a single motor option, which will give you an estimated 300 horsepower, and then a dual motor, all wheel drive option that'll give you an estimated 500 horsepower. So, plenty of torque to get around that city. With that single motor option, it'll be able to do 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. And then with the dual motor, it'll be able to do that same 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. So, plenty of quickness. Next, it'll be able to haul and tow stuff that you might need every so often. So, for an example, it'll have a payload with that single motor at least of 2,000 pounds. And with the dual motor, it'll have a payload of 1,700. To put that in perspective, currently a Ford Maverick sits around a payload of 1,500 pounds. So, not too shabby. And most recently, they updated their max tow rating to 8,000 pounds, which, if it ends up being true, once it reaches production, everything like that, that actually puts it in line with the base F-150. So this thing is small and mighty. Next, any road that you take should be no problem for this thing. It's going to have a ground clearance of 10 inches, which is more than most trucks and SUVs, anything like that, could even imagine. So ground clearance should not be a problem for you. Also, it'll have an approach angle of 87 degrees. So in case you need to be climbing some hills with this little truck, it should be able to do a decent job at that. But, what if you're not, vertically challenged like myself and you're actually over 6 feet tall? Well, this thing actually sits 5 people. And if you're over 6 feet tall, like they've demonstrated multiple times, it actually is pretty roomy. You're going to have some headspace and some space around you overall in the seats.
The MT1 is really small and I'm really tall, 6'10". So when you see how I fit in the MT1, just understand that you're probably gonna have a little more space than me. But I do have space in the MT1. No, really, check it out. See, just like that, easy.
So obviously, really tall people can comfortably fit in the front, like me, I'm 5'12". But obviously, a lot of people ask, what about the back? So notice, I haven't moved the front seat, but I can still jump in the back really easily, and my knees are touching the front, and thanks to the pedestal design, my feet have all this room underneath. But that's just me. Let's hear what other people have thought about the second row.
How tall are you? 6'5".
6'5", how's your leg room?
6'5" too. Look at all this.
Unbelievable. We're moving the car. How do you feel? Are you comfortable? Yeah.
So it should not be an issue. Now, if you're 7 feet tall, I have not seen that just yet. So maybe that's the cutoff. Also, in the future, they did say that this could potentially seat up to 8. So in case you were looking for, that potential third row / van life, then this could also fit that. And then if you just want to hide away any extra storage that's not in the cabin of the truck or the bed, they do also have some tunnel storage, aka the monster tunnel, because where do monsters live? Under the bed. And finally, with this being an EV, there's going to be some tech specs to go along with it. So it'll have outlets in the back of the bed to help you, plug in any accessories while you're camping or tools, whatever you might need. the outlets will be there. There's going to be a proper NAX charger in the back left, which will help charge that battery from 20 to 80%. They're claiming about 20 minutes. Also, depending on what pack you get, minimum looks to be so standard range 260 miles, or if you go for long range 350 miles. Also, it's kind of cool. They give you an option for solar. So whether it be solar on the roof, on the bed cover itself, or even the camper shell. So hey, what's not to love about some free miles thanks to the sun? The infotainment is supposed to support Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and also, granted, you know, most cars have these nowadays, but some are getting rid of them. But physical climate buttons. So I know that can be a deal breaker for some, but they should be there. And then finally, it'll just have the basic sensors just for avoiding and trying to prevent crashes. It won't have anything like, Tesla's full self-driving or anything like that, but it'll just help you pay attention to the road just that much more. But you're still in charge. With this thing not fully hitting production just yet, though, there's some things we just got to keep in mind. So, for an example, what kind of warranty are we going to expect out of this thing, or what kind would you like to see? Also, full service and repairability. They do mention having off the shelf components, which should make it easier to get. Any components that might go bad or happen in a wreck should be a little bit easier to repair said vehicle because of that, but time will tell on that. Overall, too, with over-the-air updates becoming more available for especially EVs nowadays, how are they going to support the software? Hopefully it's, well supported throughout the years that this thing is available. And also, marketing be marketing. Obviously, every car manufacturer wants their product to be safe, but we're going to need some real tests and see exactly how this thing handles when it comes to being crumpled. They did mention having a good crumple zone, even though, the the front of the car is basically chopped off to help save some room. It has a 14-inch crumple zone up there. Also, they're comparative to a gas truck or anything like that. There's not going to be an engine up there to come trying to hurl your way in case of an accident or anything like that. So, again, we just got to see the test, and I think that will also help put some confidence into some people, whether they put down a reservation or not. And then finally, the biggest thing out of everything when you're purchasing a vehicle will be the price. So base price, they're saying, will be a little over $41,000. So we will see how that pans out once this thing actually starts getting into customers' hands, seeing if the price changes, anything like that. But overall, I think value for money is decent. Average, I think even the average truck price, maybe even the vehicle price, is at this point, we're getting close. I want to say for trucks, we'll stick with trucks. Average price for a truck, I want to say is like $60,000 here in America. So, not saying you should be used to spending that, but for what you're getting and the capabilities of everything that this little truck can do, like being able to fold down that mid gate, give you an 8-foot bed, fit that typical 8x4 plywood sheet with the tailgate up, I feel like that's cool in itself. Just having so much capabilities within just this tiny, tiny, tiny vehicle. So excited to see what this looks like actually in person. See some of the colors that they have. They have quite a few, and when I was messing around with building one out, it didn't seem like any of the colors were like an uh, extra add-on, whether it be the typical 2000 for red or this and that. So it seemed like you could pick whatever color you wanted and figure it out from there. So yeah, I just need to see the colors in real life. Obviously, how this drives, all that good stuff. I actually want to see the size. You see it on YouTube a lot, where they keep comparing it to a Mini Cooper and all that good stuff. But I feel like I just need to see it in person to understand how small yet capable this vehicle actually is. Um, Also, is kind of cool because comparative to like building a Tesla out or any other EV, I noticed that you were able to spec your motor and your battery range separately. Because typically on any EVs, if you go all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive only, all-wheel drive, you're gonna lose a few miles or anything like that, but it seemed like on their configurator, if I picked all-wheel drive, I could still get 350 with the long-range pack based on their website at least. So, we'll see what the real world tests look like in terms of, mileage and how their battery charging optimization, temperature regulation, all that good stuff, goes about. Also, in terms of the software side, how well their route planning is, because that's huge when it comes to EVs. But overall, though, this has been on my radar for a hot minute, and I hope it's on your radar now as well. And I can't wait to see these out in the real world, hopefully. But until then, take it easy.